And for exaggeration, it's again just to add more appeal and personality to the graphic. Secondary or layered animation is basically an additional animation to support the main animation. As you can see, it's the eggs that's bouncing often on and off. So the last one, which is appeal, the graphic itself should have a personality to make the audience be attracted to it. So for example, this is a like sort of a happy, bubbly personality. So yeah, okay. So next, which is color theory. I think this pretty much can be applied to all kinds of design, but specifically in motion design, I think the most different one would be color psychology, because different colors evoke different emotions and moods. And especially when it comes to motion graphics, different, for example, like there's a blob and like it's like, for example, red, it can be, and the beat is more upbeat, it can be a bit more uh I don't know how to say it, but like a bit more in beat with the beat, and red is more alerting and stuff like that. So basically it should be connected in a way. Okay. And then so for the literature review, I actually tried to find people who have collaborated incorporated motion graphics in dance. I'm just going to be playing some of the examples. So for example, for this dance, they did a performance of dance with contemporary dance with motion graphics, but as you can see, it's just a visual aid for the audience and it's just eye candy for the audience, where it expands the dancer's movements. So that is one way of using motion graphics. And for example, this one, this person uses motion graphics as a way for storytelling, and this is about Cheshire the Cat or like Alice in Borderland. So basically, it provides the background, context, and creates the flow of the story. And then the third example that I found, which is basically they base the dance on the motion graphic as the concept, and they dance based on it. So those move to the next one. And then these are just some journals that I've found so far that is useful for me in terms of finding stuff to learn more about application of motion graphics and dance. And these are just some of my findings and some things that I need to keep remembering. For example, the main focus is still the dance. Like the motion graphics is just an additional element for the performance to make it more engaging and fun. However, it should not overpower the actual tari legong. And for example, on point with music, motion graphic is something that is very connected with rhythm. So I have to really listen to the music to make sure every graphic is perfectly timed. And of course, stick to tradition, the graphics that I will be making should also be related to the dance. If it's different, then it would just not be well made together. Yeah. And then so the possible outcome would be creating a motion graphic based on Tari Alagong's song and movements as a visual aid to enhance performance and make it more engaging towards the target audience. And then for chapter 3, here is the plan. So basically I want to do more motion research, as this is a new area for me. And of course, I think this is a preparation for chapter 5 would be to learn about motion graphics while learning the 10 principles that I mentioned earlier. Besides that, I already found 2 people that I would be interviewing, a motion graphic expert and a tari legong dancer. Besides that, I thought of applying observation study as well. Well, for example, like maybe attending a tari galagong class, so I would be able to know what kind of movements they make or what kind of music, like the beat and all that. As I have previous dance experiences, I think it would be very beneficial for me to be able to really understand it through attending a class. And this is the first person that I'll be interviewing, Miss Adriana, as I think she is a tari galagong dancer and instructor, and the other person is actually recommended by Sir Blayu, this guy called Patrick Hartono, who is a composer and audiovisual artist. Maybe I can learn a lot about motion graphics from him. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Acha.
I don't really have much input on this because I think it's pretty clear what you plan to do. It feels a bit of experimental at this point. But I look forward to seeing how you apply design, philosophy and elements to whatever you're making. Maybe look into the possibility of, how do you call it? Expansion? Not expansion. If this is done for this specific dance, can it be applied to also other types of dances and so on and so forth? See if the cultural element of the dance, which is the Balinese thing, can be applied to your aesthetics as well. Yeah, just expand on this because right now I think it's relatively okay.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
616.
All right, who's next? Wait, John.
Yeah, me sir.
John here. Okay.
Can you see us?
No. Yes. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Open up your camera.
Oh yeah,
Usual.
okay.
Right.
Okay, so today I'm gonna discuss about the topic aiding individuals with mental disabilities using 3D short videos. And next one, chapter 1, introduction. So 25% of the people in the world develop mental illness sometime in their lifetime. And a study done in 2022 showed that over 90% of Indonesians have developed a mental health issue and have experienced it in their lifetime. So some mental disorders vary from one another. So mental disorders like post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, also ADHD, they can develop anytime. Oh wait, no, ADHD is only there since birth, but then things like PTSD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar can develop anytime in their life, in someone's life. And it might be hard to diagnose, but it's possible. So normally, things like ADHD, they're diagnosed when you're a baby. But now it's easier to diagnose them when you're teens to adults. So from this dude to this dude. And then some people might not even be diagnosed until death because it's that hard to diagnose. Looking at these people, you don't know who actually has mental disorder because they all look the same. They don't really look anything different from one another. So it's kind of unpredictable. Okay, this is why I choose food because people love food. Like everyone loves food, and even people with mental disorders. Okay, so endorphins and dopamine. These are two of the happy hormones. Happy hormones. So endorphins are endoplasmic. Endogenous morphine, which reduces stress and anxiety, while dopamine is used to improve the mood and attention. Okay, so other than the visual, things like the smell or aroma and taste or flavor of the food can also activate these hormones to be released. The concerning thing about Indonesia is that there's only 1,200 psychiatrists across the Indonesia, which has over 200 million people, and this might be an issue because there might be not enough people to help. So the scope of the study, I'm gonna be doing 3D animation, short loop videos about food, and the target audience is maybe 15 and above. Maybe it's too broad for now, and the limitations is I'm gonna cover just Jakarta for now. So the aims are to these things and the benefits. Okay, so the chapter 1, I used the background, scope of study, aims and benefits, structure. Then these are the rest of the structures. Chapter 3, I haven't really completed it, so it's still, I'll leave it blank first in the structure. Okay, so chapter 2. So food. Everyone loves food, right? It's the simplest thing. Can go from something simple like a snack to something heavy or even dessert. So the 4 happy hormones. Happy hormones are endorphin, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. So the three main ones are endorphin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Those are released when you eat good food. But then serotonin, they're made by the food. So they're not really released. They're not a hormone. They're more made after you eat the food. So the joy of eating good food is sometimes the same as undergoing sexual activity because the same hormones are released in both activities. And so macronutrients. So the first one is carbohydrates, the most basic one. Carbohydrates are the most important one since it gives glucose, which is the main source for the brain, for the energy. If you eat too low, you may get mood disorders, and if you eat too many of them, you may get diabetes, depression, and anxiety. Like eating too much carbohydrates can cause a high level of glucose intake, which can, after consuming it, might make you sleepy and give you a drop of sugar rush. Examples of carbohydrates are rice and bread. And for proteins, they break down to amino acids, which are able to make serotonin. And they synthesize proteins, which makes them, and neurotransmitters. And this can also reduce symptoms of ADHD. You can find proteins in like chicken or peanuts or eggs. And last micronutrient is fats. So fats break down to fatty acids. There's two main important ones, omega-3 and omega-6. Omega-3 helps with the blood flow, while omega-6 helps with the provide energy. Some examples are you can find them in like fatty fish, maybe like salmon, or even cheese. So this one is a graph that somebody researched. So this is consisting of 100 people from Jakarta and its surrounding cities, so like Tangerang and Bekasi, the other cities. So the main one, 40%, it's nasi padang, followed by seblak and pempek, 15%. Gudeg, 14%, and ketoprak, 10%, and serabi and papeda with 3%. So the top 4 dishes are nasi padang, pempek, seblak, and gudeg. And since Jakarta is so diverse, nasi padang is from West Sumatra, seblak from West Java, pempek from South Sumatra, and gudeg from Central Java. So mental health. Mental health can be defined as a behavioral or psychological pattern that occurs in an individual in the form of distress or disability that limits their freedom and has the manifestation in the individual. Even though it's not physical, it's more mental. So there's a continuum, which is like a scale from healthy, mild, moderate to severe. So healthy is for those with no symptoms, just healthy people. And then mild with those with 1 or 2 symptoms, moderate with 3 to 5 symptoms, and severe with like maybe all of the symptoms. So stigma. There's a social stigma in Indonesia and also international. So there's assumptions which are mostly negative, and people are making these assumptions towards other groups of people, which may be caused by one individual. So they're the minority, and then there's some misconceptions, and also people with mental disabilities are also mistreated because sometimes they might be asked in the job and they might be used against them, and they might not get the job. So having mental disorder or no mental disorder, they all look the same. We all look the same. We don't look anything different because it's more mental and not physical. Also, some people have different symptoms, which might be more light, so it's not really noticeable. For colors, I researched into colors to see the effects of the colors on people, and most of these are like the majority. So black representing fear and guilt, white representing relief, red love, anger, and hate, yellow amusement, pride, and joy, brown disgust, contempt, blue contentment and interest, pink love, compassion, pleasure, and gray disappointment, regret, and sadness. So this is the main thing I'm gonna focus on. Short videos. Short videos are this is a survey done by a Chinese universities. So they picked 30 people out of 22 universities, and they made them watch short videos for like a year, and 95% of them said that it helped them in life and studies. Positive sides are making them feel more relaxed, focus, work hard, and forget all the negative things in their lives. But their negatives are they can cause addiction, which makes them keep watching the videos nonstop. So the duration of these videos are less than 5 minutes normally. And so examples like this are this is like the thing I'm gonna make. So like loop videos, but instead of these things, it's gonna be more food based. So it's like looping forever. And it's gonna be a series of 3D short video loop animations related to food. Maybe just the process, like making the food, and then it keeps repeating, so like keep making the food. So chapter 3, design method. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make a survey for comfort food in people in Jakarta, because the one last time it was Jakarta and surrounding cities, so it's not really accurate. Second one, I'm gonna do a survey about the layout and content for the video, and I'm gonna create alternative options for the video. Also look into more sources for the interviews, experiment with different styles, and analyze some videos from TikTok and Instagram to make them more to see what makes them trend. So method of research, I'm gonna do qualitative and quantitative. So interview for qualitative and survey for quantitative. Then I'm gonna interview psychologists, psychiatrists, and nutritionists. So psychologists, I already found Anastasia Anandita, and I'm still finding the other two, but that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, for chapter 3, you don't need to do quantitative research, yeah.
Oh,
Only focus on the qualitative, okay? If you want to do survey, that's fine, just a short survey, but that survey, don't count it as a quantitative survey, quantitative research, yeah. So what you can do, what you can call is what we call a preliminary survey, because that survey is needed for you for the interview, basically. So once you get the survey, you can verify your survey to your during the interview, gitu, yeah. Because if you have both qualitative and quantitative, it's going to be a bit difficult for you whether you want to pick how do you manage those two, gitu. Just focus on one.
okay.
That should be okay. And then for the design aspect, chapter 2, can I have a look on your research on design again? Oh, the short, I think that's color short video. Yeah, that's the one that you mentioned. Because okay, I think you need to change that into something more specific. Yeah. So now you're focusing on short videos. Okay. But then you need to since you mentioned about 3D animation as well, so you need to at least look into the workflow on 3D animation, gitu. Yeah. What's needed, what are the workflow, and how can you apply that to your project later. Yeah. Again, if you go for the colors, for instance, that relates to emotion. Is that correct? Or
yeah, for emotion.
okay, how this emotion relates to the mental disorder?
Maybe like I'm gonna use more calming colors, so not that bright like this maybe. So like I use more that one. Maybe for like the backgrounds, or so because the food is, I'm gonna stick with the color of the food.
Yeah, that's the thing. So if you wanna put colors as part of your research, you need to make sure that you don't have to do everything, as I said, yeah. I mean, fear of guilt, relief, love, and anger. Does that needed for your project? If not, then just cut it out. You know, you don't need to explain everything. Yeah, just focus on your project. I mean, I was assuming that you can do color with food. You know, like seblak color apa sih gitu loh. Yeah, and then you explain that okay, with seblak color you can have disgust and love and pride, for instance. With nasi padang you can have fear and disappointment, gitu, yeah, things like that. So focus on the colors or the design that actually matters to your project. Doesn't have to be everything. Yeah. All right. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Next,
sir.
Naila
Hello.
Savana.
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, give me a few. Can you see, sir?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to Sir Bayu, Sir Will, and to my friends that are still here. So today I will present my thesis topic, which is named The Influence of Nature in Enhancing Creativity within Jakarta's Open Green Spaces. So here's a preview of the structures for chapter 1 and chapter 2. So let's start with chapter 1. So what makes humans unique? That's right, creativity. So humans are and have always been creative. It is considered as a basic human trait. Creativity is what sets humans apart from other living beings. It is simply what makes them unique. And according to Sternberg and Lubert in 1995, personality, IQ, knowledge, thinking style, motivation, and environment all contribute to creativity. So natural environments are a source of boundless inspiration as it creates a restorative effect on the human mind. According to Ye, Hung, and Chang in 2022, their study shows that observing nature stimulates curiosity, it fosters adaptation, and it expands imagination. And examples of easily accessible natural environments are public green spaces provided in the city. So green spaces are open areas designated for parks, forests, and gardens, of all which are necessary components of a healthy natural ecosystem. And urban green areas help to balance the natural system and are important for the community's health and well-being. But for Jakarta, which is an example of a city with a rapid urbanization, it is becoming more densely populated, and open green spaces here have become ever more crucial. So this paper will be aimed towards people in the creative industry, but also people in general who are looking for ways to develop their creativity further by understanding how natural environments may help boost creative thinking. So the aims for this research paper would be to examine design elements and environmental factors in Jakarta's green spaces that contribute to the overall community experience, and then also reminding them the importance of nature for the community, and also understand how being in a natural environment can affect a person, whether in health, mind, or their creative performance. And the benefits from this research paper would be the public acknowledgement of the role of green spaces as a catalyst for creative development, and understanding how nature can help foster creative thinking and output, and also the exposure and public awareness for existing green spaces in Jakarta. So let's move on to chapter 2, which is a theoretical foundation. So the experience in nature in entirety means everything and everywhere. It encompasses all living organisms, including plants, animal, ecosystems, and mankind itself. So all life depends on it as it maintains ecological stability and supplies vital resources. And because of what people feel when they're in nature, it motivates them to learn more about it, take better care of it, and value its abundance. So for the theory of humankind, I put 2. So first, and according to John Locke, humans were just like blank slates. They're just born without any information or preferences. Their behavior, their personalities were thought to be just completely determined by their experiences and their surroundings. And according to Wilson's hypothesis, humans are naturally drawn to nature and other life because of their hunter-gatherer heritage and our dependence on natural resources. So moving on to the relationship between nature and humans. So the bond between people and nature is deeply rooted in their past and culture. And one of the factors contributing to this relation can be found in a growing data suggesting that childhood experiences can potentially shape one's perspectives on nature as they grow older. So early exposure to the natural environment, growing up in natural settings, doing outdoor activities as a child had a significant impact on adults' positive views about the environment, according to a nationwide poll of US adults who lived in the city. So moving on to nature's influence. So spending time in nature serves as a stress reliever. And according to Olmsted in 1985, the role of natural scenery in regards to attention restoration goes as follows. So it employs the mind without fatigue, and yet exercises it, tranquilizes it, and yet enlivens it. And thus, through the influence of the mind over the body, it gives the effect of refreshing rest and reinvigoration to the whole system. So moving on to the theory of creativity. So basically, it's a complex cognitive process of finding issues, developing ideas, and trying to solve problems. And here on the right, there is a chart showing the factors that influence creative performance, starting from the person first, and then the process, which is affected by the physical work setting, and then the social and the work environment as well. So here are some characteristics of the creative process, which I will show here instead. So moving on to the relation. So many creative thinkers have recognized the potential role of environment in influencing creativity. It helps foster new ideas, it promotes flexible thinking, and additionally, it also helps improve on an individual's attention span, enabling people to analyze and develop ideas more effectively. So moving on to green spaces. So as populations and cities grow, so does the need for green spaces in order to help maintain the natural balance. So living in an area with plenty of parks and other green spaces is definitely beneficial to the community. But of course, there are challenges in priorities in expansion, such as other constructions and then parks and other areas. So moving on to the green spaces within Jakarta. So as populations and cities grow, so does the need for green spaces in order to help maintain the natural balance. So for a long time, Jakarta had been thought of a city that is more of an indoor centric, thanks to its lack of parks and other green areas. Shopping malls have long been a popular choice for people to go to on the weekends. And then because of that, and then also the underusage of the community in regards to the underdevelopment of public transportation, most people would just prefer to bring their own private transportation instead. But over the time, people of Jakarta have gradually started to appreciate the outdoors. They're trying to seek out open spaces to alleviate the feeling of being confined, especially after the pandemic. So a significant transformation that I also felt in the community was also sparked by the introduction of public transit, such as the MRT and the LRT, due to how walkable and accessible the stations are to numerous establishments and everywhere. And additionally, public buses have also evolved in integrating stops with the MRTs to provide even more flexibility. So since then, the community's utilization of public transportation has increased as a result of these improved accessibility and development of Jakarta's public transportation, which is still continuing until further notice. So not only does this affect the working generation, but it also affects the younger generations as well. They've been getting used to taking the public transportation for their daily commutes and other travels. So here is a list of potential green spaces in Jakarta that I will explore and examine, although everything is still subject to change. So either I can decrease it or I can increase the amount, but we'll see about that later. And the reason why I can't move to chapter 3 yet is because I'm still finding a possible design solution for this topic, although I have some personal notes and some requirements that I wrote down. So, for example, the design solution, I would like it to be something more universal that can be applied to not just parks, green spaces, but also any other places, shops, malls as well. And I wanted something to be something that could be long term, something that is digital and social media friendly. So for example, people would just like scan the QR, and then you can download it for ease and upload it to social media as easy as it is. And then I'm trying to also prioritize in the illustration as well. So the list would be illustration, graphic design, then UI UX. Although I have no problems in if either the solution would go, oh, I can like do UI UX, then I have no problems, but I would like to highlight the illustrations part as well. And I'm trying to avoid something singular or something like events or exhibition, because I think that would be restrictive to only one place. And of course, I would still need more references and source materials for this to find the design output possible. And I think it's also limited to only just something small or medium scale projects as well. But I do want the product to be something that can contribute to the community experience. For example, that I think in any compound, malls, or green spaces, I think there will at least be one photo booth available. And now there's already a new innovation for photo booth where there's already an outdoor photo booth. So people just scan the QR and then they take pictures, and then the background will be the outdoors, which I think is also a way to promote the indirect way of the outdoors, the green spaces in general. And I think the design output would have a way to attract visitors to go there, and for a reason like, oh, there's this, then people would go there in a way, and also to as a way to indirect awareness to the people, the importance of green spaces.
Over 1 minute.
Yes, I think that's it. And I would need your feedback from this.
Okay. All right. So, I guess for me now, for us, it's still unsure. Yeah, what is the output for your project? Yeah, I mean, you got all the studies done. You got the correlation between the creativity and the green spaces kind of thing. But then what's next, gitu? That's the thing that you haven't really looked into, I guess. Yeah. I'm not sure. What can you do as a interactive digital media designer, gitu? You can can I have a look on the list of green spaces that you've looked into so far? I think you got the list before, previous slides.
Oh, it's here, but I haven't
There you go.
really like searched most of it. I've only searched for urban forest and One Satrio so far.
Yeah. So what can you do? I guess you go into those green spaces, yeah, and then you need to observe it, yeah, and see what kind of design that can you come up with that, gitu, in that particular place, because every green space is going to be different. Yeah, they have their own branding, for instance. They have their own I don't know what their focal point is, what's their attraction for each. Yeah, so you need to go there, observe all of them, I guess, and then yeah, and then think of what you can do with that. How can your design complement the green spaces and the creativity of people who going there, for instance? Yeah, otherwise it's going to be just a list of green spaces, gitu. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's all for me, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah, so you need to look into that, observe it, and then come back to us to consult for the next step, I guess.
Okay, thank you, sirs.
Thank you. Next, Nicole.
Hello. Wait,
Yes.
let me try to adjust something real quick. What is this? Wait, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna turn on my camera now. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, so wait, let me try to share screen. Okay.
Right.
How do I do this?
Green button. Alright, cool.
Can you see? Wait,
Alright, go for it, yeah.
how do I? Okay. Wait,
What
I'm beginning.
happened?
You and friends, today I would like to present to you my thesis research, which is promoting volleyball's growth in Jakarta. The title, however, is still tentative, and I might do some changes in the future. So chapter 1, introduction. So before I discuss about what volleyball is, I would like to discuss about the benefits of sports in general. So the benefits of sports in general can be divided into three main things. One, which can improve in one's physical and mental health. It can lead to a longer lifespan and a happier life. Uh, Sports can also contribute in reducing multiple diseases such as cardiovascular diseases, obesity, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and many more. Sports can also be a tool to unite people from different places together. Sports provide a universal language that transcends boundaries and brings people together, fostering a sense of community, connection, and shared humanity. And last but not least, sports helps in building one's skill development. This includes physical endurance, technical skills, tactical skills, mental skills, social and life skills. Now let's go to the definition of volleyball. So what is a volleyball in general? Like in a base, volleyball is considered as a game that relies on teamwork. It requires a lot of communication in order to increase the chances of success in games. Um, Volleyball is also considered as a less strenuous sport comparing to basketball, as said by the inventor of volleyball, William G. Morgan, described it as a less strenuous alternative of basketball, perfect for people who find basketball too bumpy and jolting. And last but not least, it is heavily inspired by a combination of several team sports. Uh, it is inspired by a combination of basketball, tennis, and handball together. So sports actually plays a huge role in connecting the people around us. Said mentioned previously, it removes the barrier and connects us together as a community. So for my focus of this thesis research, of course, I want to make volleyball more popular in Jakarta because in Jakarta, in Indonesia, and Jakarta especially, the most popular sports that is always played is always badminton or soccer. And volleyball is more popular around the Western regions because, again, due to historical events where volleyball is actually invented in America, slowly spreading towards the European region and finally going to the Asian regions. In Indonesia, badminton and soccer has always been a core sport that have reached Indonesians' heart, especially badminton, with such a huge amount of achievements, such as gold medals and so on. Um, the problem of why volleyball is going to be a bit difficult to make it popular in Jakarta is because locals has also been playing badminton and soccer more due to medias and of course families. Initially, badminton is already popular way back then due to advertisements and influencers. Also advertisements in family, equipment sellings, which cause people to play badminton more. Now, for this aims and benefits, my aim is to make volleyball popular in Jakarta. And the reason for this is also to make people be more engaged with sports other than just playing badminton. I want them to be more engaged in a more teamwork kind of game, because volleyball requires 6 members than just 2. And also the aims for this research is to create unification towards people of Jakarta, as it is full of diverse ethnic groups. So initially in badminton history, badminton was released and played uh, initially in Medan, and it was most played by the Chinese people. But during those times, there has been some conflicts between different ethnic groups, which then badminton became a tool in unifying different ethnic groups together. And so for the benefits of this it is to help in developing and improve one's skills knowledge, mentioned like previously, such as like physical skills, mental skills, and so on. Also, the benefits for making volleyball more popular is so that it can help others improve uh, the health of others, both physically and mentally. And last but not least, it also helps in creating connections and relationships between people, as volleyball is a team sport which requires communication. So for the scope of study, I was planning to create an animation story, which might be interactive, which is I'm still trying to debate whether it should be interactive or not. But I'm planning to make a story that revolves about learning about volleyball with some fun and comedic skits, as this is targeted towards young audiences. And the reason why I pick young audiences is because young audiences, at least at the age of 6 to 12, are still at their developing phase, trying to figure out what their hobbies are and so forth. The limitation for this is that the research is only limited to only in Jakarta, so I can only probably try to get it to interview people inside Jakarta only. So these are the structure for chapter 1 and chapter 2. There might be some changes in the future because again, mine is not exactly complete. Let's go to next, chapter 2, literature review. So comparison in popularity between volleyball and badminton in Indonesia. So the reason why I want to discuss about to compare these two sports is because although they have similar statistics, similar amount of active players, with badminton having 4 million and volleyball having 3 million, and the time and date, the year of them being introduced is pretty close. A study was found made by YouGov Omnibus stated that people are 2.7 times more likely to watch badminton than volleyball. Let's see in this data chart here. So in this research, I tried to figure out the reason of why badminton can be much more popular than volleyball in the first place when they were introduced even in the similarly like in less time. So here the factors that increase the popularity of badminton in Indonesia. So based on a research paper, there are more influencers for badminton, influencing the locals through showing skills off in Medan. This happens during the 1990s. And because of the influencers, locals start to practice badminton more, which leads to great success. And last but not least, advertisements of family pack badminton equipment, which this might not apply to our design purpose, as we are not selling volleyball equipment, but rather raising the awareness of it. So I also did research about how volleyball works, because this is going to be important when it comes to making the story of the animated story, because what I'm trying to make is an educational and a mix of comedy. So how volleyball works, in the main goal of the game, score 25 points with a 2-point difference, and the team must always consist of 6 players or more. Substitution. A team can hit at a maximum of 3 times, and an indoor volleyball match is the best of 5 games. These information will be placed in the animation story. About making an animated story, the result of my medium will definitely take place in social medias. And according to Statista, the number of people in the world who have access to the internet is 5.35 billion users, which is 65% of the world's current human population. So this data gives me an idea of how much do Jakarta people have access to internet. And I think that the digital platform as a method to increase volleyball's popularity in Jakarta is possible because according to Realista, it is reported that 73% of Jakarta's citizens have access to the internet, making the digital platform an effective way to gain information. I also learned that in order for it to be more educational and more effective, I have to first figure out the most effective way of learning. So according to the University of the Atlantic, there are 4 kinds of learners, which are visual, auditory, reading and writing, and lastly, kinesthetic learners. According to the university, the most effective way of learning is through visual and auditory combining together. And if not, combining with interaction as well. During their research, 60% of their student remembers the information if it is visually or interactively presented, while 15% of the students remember the information if it is presented through lecture speech or text, which is not memorable and it won't teach people well. So my making of animated videos, yes and no's. So I believe that I won't be making short content clips that are usually seen in TikToks because I believe it is short content clips are bad, especially for the younger generations. Because the reason why I think short content clips are ineffective is because people tend to just scroll down, which these memories will just leave outside your ears. And so my goal for this is to create a fun story about volleyball, making it memorable, which therefore I would be making a pretty much longer than just a TikTok. Sorry.
Thumbs up.
Oh no. Okay, should I just yeah. My goal is to make an animated video. Comparative student study. I can't actually find one comparative study aside from one that is similar, but it's not about volleyball. Since the research paper is from the past, like it's really old, they tend to focus more on the classes and power that sports can control, which I would be following. But it mentions that sports can be used as an entertainment to a community. So by making this animated video, I would try to make it as entertaining at the same time educational. The end benefits, it does help. For example, if people will join volleyball in Indonesia, and if we succeed more, and stuff. And this is just the planning for my next. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Right. So I guess you're going to do a animation, yeah. So kind of similar with John.
Yeah.
John focuses on food. You're focusing on the aspect of volleyball, I guess. Yeah. It's I guess it's going to be the same as what I told you previously, that you two focus on the different type of sports before you going to the volleyball. I would suggest you to cut that research and then focus on the volleyball aspect as well aja gitu ya.
Oh.
So what's going on in the volleyball, what are the rules and such, you push that out a little bit more,
Okay.
so you can put that on the animated video, I guess. Yeah. I plan to do animation or a live action video. Just curious. A
I'm
2D
gonna
animation
be,
or
I'm
3D?
gonna be illustrating and animating it.
Okay.
Oh,
All
wait,
right.
sir.
So
Sorry,
Hey?
you go first.
What are you trying to say?
Just now, so basically the reason why I brought badminton is because since I want to know why badminton is popular in the first place, I would like to see if the tactics that makes badminton popular can be inputted into volleyball. That's all for me. But other than that, I'll be focusing more on volleyball later in the research paper.
Yeah.
Or should I just
Just focus on
Yeah.
volleyball should be okay. So
Okay.
it's okay to put other sport as well, but not as much as your volleyball content. Yeah.
Okay.
Gitu.
Okay.
And lastly, probably you need to start looking at the content itself. What
Yeah.
kind of content for your video that can promote the volleyball much better, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Will.
I think
I cannot hear you, sir. I think it's muted. Yeah, sir, you're muted. Okay.
do a comparison study about similar videos. For some reason, the thing that I could think of right now is anime, right? So there's anime about basketball, about football and such. And it's a great way to get people's attention to try those sports. Do a bit of a comparison study, especially if you're making short videos, and see what works and what doesn't work.
Okay. Wait, sorry, Sir Will. Did you said anime? Because I can't really hear just now. It's like really.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So anime, like the Japanese anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
the ones that
Okay.
we had seen so far are anime, right? Or at least the one that I can think of.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah, Japanese anime do have some comedic skits when it comes to like sport topics as well. So I could try to follow from them.
All right, cool. Thank you. Next.
Thank you.
Bentar,
Will.
sir.
Hey.
Oke. Bentar. Wait. Udah bisa, sir?
No, Will. I think it's on the other screen or something.
Really? This, sir?
Coba lagi.
Nih. Bentar, sir.
Nah. Ya, oh lu nggak, lu nggak masuk ke grup intensif ya? Oh iya, nggak ada. Berarti ya, kecil kayaknya ada. Aku bisa tolong dia cek ke dalam sebenarnya.
Use the one that was printed yesterday.
Oh, iya.
Makanya kok dia ada cuma itu udah isi. So,
Kalian udah bisa belum, sir?
Try present. Yes, click that.
Udah, sir?
Still looking at the get another free trial Canva thing.
Huh?
How many screens you have? You better share all the whole screen compared to just one window, I guess.
Sebentar, sir.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Emang buat ini.
Uh, Anda bisa belum, sir?
Yes, so far it's the same as before. Okay, much better. Now I can see everything. Cool. Go for it.
So hello, sir. Sir Will and Sir Bayu. Today, I'm going to present my thesis topic about how batik can be your companion throughout your journey in life. It's the usage of batik in art therapy. So starting off with the problem, even though batik has been used as in one of the methods for art therapy, like it can cure mental illness, depression, and anxiety. However, it is only mainly used or experimented on elderly people or old grandma, grandpas, that got those type of like therapy. In and it makes like teens didn't kaya get a chance to experience it, and because it is needed for teenagers or youth to know what their culture is and what it's need to be passed on from generation to generation. Moving on to chapter 1. So for the scope, the field that I'm going for is product design, and for the target market, I'm aiming to go for teens or adolescents or youth. For the aims and benefits, the aims is to introduce Membatik to Indonesian youth, to make batik as a therapy for teens to experience. And for the benefits is make Indonesian youth know more about batik and batik as a technique for therapy which is more known. So this is the structure for chapter 1. Just the background scope, aims, benefit, and structure. This is the chapter 2. Mainly speaking about the ways about batik and art therapy, and it's more about also theory of color, design, and also for the comparison study, I decided not to use this, so I might change it. So moving on to chapter 2. So, what is batik? It is taken from a Javanese word called ambatik. The word amba, which means a large cloth, and also the word tik or titik or matik, which is a verb that means creating dots. Another example of what batik means from a famous figure named one of them is Nushirwan Tirtamijaya, said that batik is a technique of decorating a cloth by using wax through dipping colors, and also it is also done fully by hand. The history of batik mainly historically is originally back in the 17th century, which is in the Majapahit era, which their patterns usually decorated with like floral or flora and faunas, and however it's changes to like clouds and temples. One of the examples of the batik was from this statue, which is called Biarawa statue, which is from the Sumatra in the 14th century. The history also of batik has an attachment towards the evolving of the Majapahit Empire and also the spread of Muslim religion. Not also the influence of batik also came from other countries such as China. They found the technique of creating the batik was during the Sui dynasty. Japan also founded silk batik was discovered in Nara. In India, they found an article of clothing that could have been like batik. In Egypt, they dug through a linen grave cloths of that creates a white pattern on top of an indigo blue background, and which is from like scratching the design into wax. So there are three types of batik, which is batik tulis, chap, and printing. Batik tulis is more of the original, which is they use a chanting to draw on the motifs or design onto the cloth. For batik chap is kind of similar, but they use a different tool for it. It's called, they use a stamp which is made out of wood or copper. And the last one is batik printing. This I think consider as the modern type because but this type of batik method is considered to be modern because of how it is, the wax is it's printed onto the cloth. So in batik there are elements which there are three, which is Klawangan, Isen, and decorative motif. Klawangan is more like the main element or like the main character of the foundation of the batik on the design. Mainly it is like from like flowers and animals, and it is used as the main element of the batik. Isen is more like the supporting act of the Klawangan. Mainly it is from fin or thick dots or lines. And decorative motif is also kind of different from the Isen and Klawangan, but however, it is also mainly flora and fauna, but in small forms, and also some could be in geometric shapes. So, what is art therapy? The meaning of art therapy is like a practice or a way to trade the creative minds and project emotion is in an artistic way and to help from having mental illness. There are some types of art therapy, because some of them like painting, drawing, coloring, finger painting, collage, and photography. From painting, like the first one is more, they can be more freely because they have a tool and they can just express their feelings to it. For collage, it's basically more on their life experiences, and basically from the name itself, it's a collage. So they try to portray it or like show it by doing cutout of like from magazines or newspapers or texture paper. For photography is also very different because it's more into capturing their emotions or expressing the feelings or experiences. So how can art therapy affect the younger generation? Because the art therapy also can be act as a safe place because they also let the clients to be like more open and stuff, and also they can so they can freely can express their feelings, and also from doing art therapy they can also boost their self-esteem. So how can color affect people? Well, there's a part of our brain which called amygdala, which has the power of controlling our emotions, and when we see a certain color, it also like releases certain hormones that will like give us a feeling of that emotion. So psychology of color. According to Mental Health of America, there are several colors they pick, but according to them, there are 5 that I picked, which is red, green, blue, orange, and yellow, which can make the when they see the color, making more like giving more positive vibes. Clariform red, muted tones of red or the hue could like bring good energy such as love and passion. Green could consider as a neutral hue, but could give peacefulness and sometimes feelings when feeling sad or depressed. Blue, when it is in like a lighter shade or bright hues, will generate relaxation to help to be more open. For yellow, it's considered as an intense color. However, it could be joyfulness when it's in a lighter color or in like a pastel shade. Orange is considered as a stimulating color that will give an enthusiasm feeling. So since my field is in product design, so I found this hierarchy which was made by Stephen Bradley. He made five-rule pyramid or hierarchy to guide them into like when creating a certain product, which is functionality, reliability, usability, proficiency, and creativity. Also, I've also found another hierarchy that is created by Maslow to help the people to understand the needs of the potential buyers. So what my idea was, as a solution for this paper, I will make it for a product, but this product, I think, and since it's an art therapy, I decided to make it into like a sort of a program, which I also be making into a kit. That they have to participate with, that it will took like 30 days, like journey of creating body. So how does the product is used? Like each day the participants will have to do one pattern. They also will get their own chanting and also their own wax for them to like draw. And also each day will be different. And after the wax is applied, the participants have to dye the fabric depending on how they are feeling. Each day they also have to write out how are they feeling to keep update on how their progress is, so they keep up with their journey, and just repeat the process until the last day. For I think chapter 3, my plans are just like create a SWOT analysis, maybe like do a visual survey on how the product will be like, and also maybe find another resources for interview if I decide that if I needed one other source to interview, and maybe explore more using the hierarchy because to find other solution instead of the one that I just have an idea of before, if it's more better than the previous one. But so for the interview sources, I have a friend which her name is Teresa Arjung. She is a close friend of mine from high school. She is a very intelligent person that has a very great knowledge of psychology, and she also like does like private consultation. That I think it will be like a great thing because for the target market, because it's in also in the same adults and youth. I think that is it, sorry.
That's it? Okay. All right. Thank you, Wilhelm. Right, just curious. So, your plan is to create a product
Yes.
for and you force your consumer to do batik every day as a reflection or something. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's like maybe like from how I think if they do like every day, maybe like so see like how are they improving their condition in it. Because
Okay. So it's kind of like art therapy, but with batik. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay. There is one problem that I can see with this kind of project is that when you sell this product, you need to you need to know that whether the product is successful or not. You know, so you need to think about the after sales. You know, and not just creating. I don't know. If I'm looking at the a bunch of art therapy paper, and then once I draw it and that's it, but then the author doesn't know that whether it's successful or not, gitu. So since your project is tied into the psychologist, I guess, yeah, you need to think about what is the next step once they finish those 30 piece of pattern, gitu. Yeah. Can I go back to your pattern thing, I guess, the process?
Yang
Yeah, this one, that one, that tadi. Yeah, I mean, this is more like a program for psychologists, I guess. Yeah, will help. Um, uh, who's your target market?
Youth and adolescents, like mainly teens lah.
Um, so when I buy the product, I get the chanting, I get the malam, I get the fabric as well, or how does it work?
So I think my idea was like make a whole packet like a kit, like in because I had this thinking of maybe like having the system looking like a Christmas calendar, like those type of system. Kayak misal on day one they have to like also kan also I think because I think bisa they have to wait bisa aja eh, kayak bisa melatih kesabaran untuk mereka to do the next one gitu instead of opening all by the once and just doing it all in one go.
Okay, I understand the step. Now going back again to the project. What is the initial problem that you're raising in your project?
Main problem sih because how I see how the batik is not mainly used kayak remaja itu yang mas itu cuma dipakainya pas kayak untuk kayak buat
In English.
sorry itu is mainly
Okay.
used like elderly people because I saw in the news I think because they only do it and to elderly people and like only but they also do it to like children but never to use or teenagers.
Okay, so basically you want to promote batik using this kind of technique, this kind of project gitu ya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Will.
Have you considered just making a since your graphic design, have you considered just making kind of like a packaging design for this sort of thing, like creating a whole set, as you mentioned, like giving them the thing and the clay and the modules and stuff like that, and then designing a whole packaging and instructions and so on and so forth. As opposed to coming up with a program. Like this could be a hobby. I could see it being a hobby. Especially if you don't mind working with the heat, because you have to have like the bowl thing and heat up the wax. And it can be a bit dangerous if you're not used to working with such a thing. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, you need to rethink the, I mean, it's probably doable, but just make sure that the environment is safe as well, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, we'll look into that when during the production phase there. So don't worry. For now, it's fine for us. Will. Okay.
So this is my first initial idea sih, sir. Soalnya masih nyari-nyari lagi lah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well. It still can be, simulated in different way. It can be done, so don't worry. Yeah. All right, I think that's it. Welcome, thank you. Okay, Keshiki, next.
Hi, sir. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
The next 2 weeks, if you're gonna do this. I thought.
How do I turn my?
Anyway. We are going to do that. Okay?
All right, all good.
Maybe go.
All good?
Yes. Before.
Okay. Hi, sir. Will. Sir Bayu.
Also, we are going to do that.
So my thesis is about Indonesian propaganda poster art, specifically the impact of Japanese graphic designers during World War II. And I think this is important because during the short period of time that the Japanese occupied Indonesia. Their efforts to connect with the people is still felt until today. For example, renaming the city of Batavia to Jakarta, or renaming the structure of the high schools from like previous Dutch HBS into what we know now, SMP, Sekolah Menengah Pertama. In the more design aspect, I think they also made a great impact because they introduced Indonesia to more modernized way of design compared to the Dutch era. So my background is to study the effectiveness of Japanese propaganda art and to explore the artistic influences of Indonesian artists and art movements in the era. Aims and benefits to promote current social, political issues of Indonesia and to connect generations through visuals, creating a better future for Indonesia. So I will be making or redesigning posters or a series of posters in the current events in the style of Japanese propaganda art, and my target audiences are 13 and above, and Indonesian citizens, because the posters will be previewed in public spaces, and its limits are only towards Indonesian citizens. So why the Japanese were so interested in spreading propaganda through art is because in 1945 only the literacy rates were not so good. Only one in 20 could write or read. So visuals, using plays and posters and radio and any kind of art is really important to gather the Indonesian people and capture their hearts and minds. By this time, most posters were printed using already using the technology with photo is already common. So the purpose of a poster is to educate and promote a channel for mass consumption. They influence not only art and graphic design, but history, consumer habits, and culture as well. And what is propaganda? It is a unique type of persuasion method. What makes a propaganda poster? It is the combination between education and propaganda, convincing individuals that the idea they see is their own. And what makes a political propaganda is the type of propaganda is used to achieve a certain political and economic gains. Under the Japanese rule, they gathered up all the Indonesian artists and they made a centralized propaganda system, and they gathered our community of artists so they can connect more with the people of Indonesia. This is Barley Sasmi Tawinata, an Indonesian painter who was in charge of the Bandung branch of the propaganda base. So Japanese art, there were two prominent figures in the Department of Propaganda. They exposed Indonesians into making collages into a more Art Deco Japanese collage style. The prominent figures are these two, Ono Saseo and Takeshi Kono. This is a poster that Takeshi Kono made during 1942. It translates into defense. And one of the other movements they made was the 3M slogan movement, which translates to Mata Mata Musuh. This was also a work of Takashi Kono. They also made competitions and stages for artists. They gave them rewards in competitions in making posters, such as this poster right here with the slogan Mata Mata Musuh, and also this one. They issued in these participations in all over Indonesia. Another movement of propaganda they made was the 3A movement, the Light of Asia. The three A's meaning Cahaya, Pelindung, dan Pemimpin. Light, protector, and leader of Asia. Japan made themselves as Indonesia's big brother, adopting them as one of their own to connect with the people and to support their ideas. Here we see more of the collage style that they're known for. The modern Art Deco collage style. So my comparison study will be towards political issues that are, for example, the presidential campaigns. And my questions are geared towards how people feel about the posters and how their information about the current state of Indonesia and their concerns. That is all. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Can we see your slide again? Sorry.
Right.
I think all the research are there. Okay. You got the comparison. You got the whole files are there. Yeah, just again, what you're going to do with that, you know, you want to create a new poster with that style. I think that was your aiming before, but
Yeah.
then what is the content? Gitu loh.
Redesign the content.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still this is the initial idea. I was really thinking about maybe current social political issues like the one that I immediately thought about in my head was the recent presidential campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's because it's done already. Gitu. I think we need
Right,
to
right.
move on with the
Yeah.
presidential election thing. Yeah. I would suggest you to look for something that long lasting, I guess, that can be used with in the next 5 years, like I don't know, environmental issue or things like that.
Right.
I was thinking more than that. So, but then you need to add those kind of issue in your chapter 2 as well. So not just the type of poster or the propaganda poster or the history, but what is the current relatable issue that can be used for your propaganda poster, I guess. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what
sir.
I'm.
Right, right, right.
Okay, yeah. Will.
Thank you.
So as Roy mentioned, you have to find something to make propaganda for, right?
Right, yeah.
Because this is just a study on the style in whatever. And also the thing is, propaganda has a certain quality to it, but it's got a certain characteristic that is associated with it. So it's not exactly something like campaigning for president or the such. Propaganda is heightening a specific, usually political, way of thinking, whether it be for your country or for your party or for communism or whatever. Yeah, the point is, it's not. It's more than just something that's merely political. It's something more than that. So I don't know where you're going with it, but if you plan on doing something that's along the line of propaganda, that means that you have to find a cause, and it can't be something. As much as we would like to, it can't be something like climate change, because climate change is nothing that you need to make propaganda for. There's a certain thing about propaganda, whether it be faith or political or ideology, that you need to apply to, unless you want to say, I want to make propaganda for KFC and see where that goes. I'm making like, you're a nationalist, you eat KFC or something, like, I don't know, but it's different, right?
Okay, right. Need to push something.
Yeah, look into that, I guess. We can discuss this later, during any time before your submission as well. So don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kitsiki.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir. Will.
All right, bye. Okay, next, Francisca.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wait, just a moment.
Francisca, Fran.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So good afternoon, Mr. Will and Mr. Bayu. My name is Francisca Natania Cristianos. Today I'll be presenting my thesis topic called Indonesian Traditional Snacks, the Search of National Treasure in a Metropolitan City. So okay, so on the first slide, I would like to share with you all the table contents and what you'll be expecting from these thesis. So I'll be making this very short and quick. So chapter 1 being the general informations of what traditional snacks and what is to be the problem in the modern society today. So like the background and the Indonesian traditional snacks, background of the problems and the potentials, along with the scopes, aims, and benefits, and the structures. The problems and the potential along with scopes, aims, and the benefits, yes. And for the chapter 2 is the more in-depth information on what traditional snacks like. I would like to specifically focuses on kue basah. So the information on what traditional snacks is from the past 18 decades and its legacy today in the modern cities such as Jakarta. So event planning design became the end result of this project with the aim to collect people who are excited for both events and the topic in the form of a pop-up booth. So that will be my end result. Event planning design and comparison study for chapter 2 are still ongoing research along with the analysis and conclusion. And what I'll be explaining on today's PPT is the short summary of what you'll be expecting on the final thesis and is still on progress for information such as data, the questions, and the interviewers. So I would like to start off this presentation with 3 pictures. Look no further, there are definitely similarities on the pictures. Like as you can see, there is a puppet show or a wayang show. There's also batik, and there is also the famous kue basah or jajanan pasar or Indonesian traditional snacks. So there are definitely similarities on the pictures being the culture, and it is also a form of art of Indonesia. And what I would like to be focusing more will be the topic that I'll be discussing for today's presentation, with the centered theme being Indonesian traditional snacks. So Indonesian traditional snacks has already existed since the 18th century, alongside the emerge of Indonesian spice route and cross-cultural marriages, which forms a diverse history. So diverse ancestry means diverse traditions and also diverse cultures. Among the diversity, Indonesian inherited one of the most delicious treasures, which is being the traditional snacks. So traditional snacks, or what most local refer to as jajanan pasar, are these different kinds of snacks from different backgrounds, like ranging from sweet to salty, from basah to kering, and being sold in traditional markets by these ladies, traditional markets or street stalls by locals for others people to enjoy. So the purpose of traditional snacks are as the following. The first one is of course it's a historical legacy, where traditional snacks or jajanan pasar became a historical legacy for Indonesian locals to enjoy. Pride and identity of Indonesian society contains within each snacks. What I mean by that is one of the many examples of traditional snacks with the meaning is lapis legit. So lapis legit is a sweet and soft layered cake that symbolizes layers of fortune, career, and a better life. By eating lapis legit, it is hoped that you will get good luck and also happiness. So as you can see, lapis legit in culture celebration such as Christmas, Chinese New Year's, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but Idul Fitri, or even wedding. So linked to that is also the culture celebration. So like I've said before, culture celebration is also like a big part of the diversity. which is also part of the traditional snacks. It is a source of reminder for Indonesian traditional cultures event and a person's family's roots. And the third one is also a teman ngopi, or you could say a coffee buddy. So traditional, as I've talked like many times before just now, traditional is a word I'm sure you all have heard mentioned ever since the start of this presentation, traditional. This word impacted the whole topic as we go from here, as we will be discussing how do people see Indonesian traditional snacks today. So I would like to link it to the modern lifestyle, as it is what I would like to discuss, which is traditional snacks and how people see it today in the modern society. So modern lifestyle is what most people these days strives to have, and especially people who live in the urban areas of the city. So the image of modern is convenient, fast, and also trendy, with the goal of achieving the Western lifestyle, where the food palettes are also tailored to fit the Western palettes. Answering the question on how people see Indonesian snacks today, most people describe it as out of time based on today's standards. But it's not impossible to find such delicacy in Jakarta. You rather have to find it in places that you could say unseen. Location matters, as it gives transparency and access for people who are interested to hunt for traditional snacks. So Indonesian traditional snacks are diverse and also scattered in different locations, with most prominent places are location where the snacks are originated from, or places where regular customers are most likely to buy, which are, if you move it into one point, it is more likely for older generations to buy it, ranging from the age of 28 and up. So leaving to less enthusiasts on the younger generation due to the lack of informations and also introduction to the subject. So the study scope for this is actually, my field is event design or an event planning. So I was trying to make this kind of booth an event design, keeping up with the youth and also the social media trendy, but also accessible to any age, with the aims to also lure people with a fun physical point of view, such as the interior designs, which going to link into the shapes and also color palettes that will be later also linked with the Indonesian traditional snacks. So this helped to also promote that traditional snacks are also trendy in its own ways. And the second one is target audience. So my target audience is people who likes foods and would also like to also travel, with an age target of 16 and up. So the main highlight for later interview will be traditional snack sellers in one of traditional markets near my house, buyers, on also students by the age of 16 and up, potential candidates being people around the neighborhood also. And the aims and benefits is to restore interest in traditional snacks, with the hopes that it'll become a never-ending legacy for future generations. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Go back to your aims and benefit.
Yeah.
Yes. Field event. Go back one slide or two slides. Hold on. Just try to look into. Okay. After this.
Oh, sorry. After
Yep. Setelah ini. That.
this,
Okay.
the problem.
Problem.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, I'm just curious, what's your plan? Once you have those aims and benefit and the problem, Francisca?
What I aimed for was actually to make sort of a booth, because like today there's a lot of like the small festivals that people went to, so I feel like that sort of interests locals to actually get to know traditional foods better, because I feel like when I do research, a lot of people have like problems with the locations, because like I've said before that most of traditional foods are scattered around the area. There isn't going to be like that one particular place that going to hold like every single traditional food, so you have to like move from one destination to the other to actually get that other food. So I kind of want to make this kind of like a small local event or small local booth for people to learn traditional snacks. To be specific is the kue basah, where people could also enjoy like or test the traditional foods. So it's going to be like I would say a 3D based model prototype for the small booth. I think it's
That's the thing. You need to think about as a designer. What you're trying to do is to create an event. So kind of like an event organizer at the moment, gitu. Yeah. So you need to scale down your project basically. So you need to find an event that has a same concept with you, I guess, yeah. And then you can go from there. Like, how do you promote those events as a designer? You know, you look into those, yeah. Or alternatively, I guess you could do something like to simulate those traditional snack, gitu. Something like an information of it, and you put it on a website or a virtual environment where they can look around to see, oh, this is traditional, and they have the information. You know, even though they cannot taste it, but at least it intrigues the user to look into much more. Okay, I want to try this. I want to order this in Tokopedia or something like that. So there are also problem that can be solved for you as a designer, I guess. Yeah. Will?
I do agree that there are several alternate ways for you to proceed with this. Finding something similar to what you have in mind and then raising awareness to that event would be a great thing. If it is a permanent space, that's even better because that would be an event. Alternatively, you could make something. Are you graphic design or IDM?
IDM. I am
okay.
IDM, sir.
So you could make something like the way I see it here, it's the search of national treasure. It's almost kind of like a hidden gem kind of thing, right? Oh, did you try this and whatever. Now the thing is, you're a designer, so you're not really an expert in, or at least that's not what you're here for. You're not here to be sort of like, I'm a food influencer. So whatever the thing is, all you can do, your role is to inform people about what it is, right? You don't get to decide what the foods are considered treasures or such. What you can do is find someone who knows about it, and then you use that knowledge to create something, right? Right. So it's either one of those two. Find an event or a place that you could promote, that you could create something for, or create something that would raise awareness about these treasures.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Have a nice
Next.
day.
Yeah, you too. Alia, next.
Hello, sir. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, clear.
Okay. I can't turn on my camera. Is that okay?
Yes, go for it. Okay, just work on your slides.
Yep. Can you see my thing? Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, I can see your Canva now.
It's loading. Okay. So my topic is universal shared experiences and how they bring us together. I do have to admit that I did not, like, I have more work on my thesis than I do in this presentation, and I did a poor job in labeling what is what. So adapting into surroundings. I chose this research topic because personally I have a lot of struggles with moving around, and I thought it would be nice to bring into light what a lot of people have gone through or are going through. So a lot of the time the change in environment, so that includes how people talk or act, local jokes or references that you might not get, as well as a work-life culture or societal norms within that community. It may be overwhelming or cause anxiety towards someone who is not used to that. So, and with that, I also want to enlighten on how it can affect your mentality. It can make you more introverted, or if you don't process this healthily, you might end up as a hermit. And with doing so, healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms include sharing about it with the community or with your close friends, or unhealthy coping mechanisms include keeping it to yourself or over reminiscing what your past life would be, because that would distract you from a lot of your priorities. So to overcome these, as I said before, talking to your community or talking to people who have been going through the same thing is very important. But due to circumstances, not everyone is able to do that in person. That's why for this project, I want to focus on discussion platforms, because I think they are a great way of how people can cope and discuss these culture shocks positively. As in, if someone were to move into Jakarta and needed help on how to get around or something, they could go online or like ask other people who are going through the same thing on like, how do I blend in like this, or how do I find this way? Because maybe talking to people in person might be very overwhelming for them. And that's why I also want to focus on how discussion platforms is a great way for me to let these people express themselves. It has a large range of knowledge and experiences from thousands of different people, and not only that, but also very diverse topics. For my final project, I want to focus on making a discussion platform that is only focused on these kind of experiences. I want to recreate this kind of platform in order for people to express these specific concerns, as well as organize said concerns into subtopics. For this, I already decided my target audience would be third cultured kids, so people like me who grew up in a very international environment, and I know a lot of my classmates or a lot of my friends or a lot of the people I grew up around never really felt at home, because they are exposed to so many different cultures at once, they don't really know how to act. And so I am well aware that there is a number of people out there who are moving into this very predominantly local atmosphere or environment, that it could be really overwhelming to kind of just get used to that one specific way of how people interact with each other. I want to focus on the age range of late teens to young adults because they are the most likely to be interacting with these kind of websites, or they have more knowledge on how to use these kind of websites. And through this, I also aim to interview a couple of the people I know who are very active on platforms such as Reddit or Quora, and who have moved around a lot, just to kind of understand what they would like to have present in the application or website. And then I also want to conduct research, not only the interviews, but I want to analyze linguistic, like how linguistics play a part into this, so I can better understand how to search for these topics. Which brings me to the, oh, sorry, I forgot this. So yeah, design a website where people are able to share their concerns and express their reminiscence in a positive manner, so it doesn't drag on to a dangerous level where they're hermits or don't want to interact with anyone at all because they are too scared to do so. And like existing platforms, Reddit, Quora, Tumblr, etc., it would be organized into subgenres, allowing the users to have easier access to what they're looking for. And then in chapter 2, which I haven't really gone into that much, but as I said, I do have more work on my paper than I do in this presentation. So while I was conducting research, I noticed that one of the biggest obstacles I faced was trouble searching. And it could be very hard to specify searches when you're on these sites. And I also recently learned that a way around this was to go onto Google, and you have to kind of search what you're looking for and then add like the discussion platform. That way it organizes it better. But in my final project, I want to be able to work through that so that users wouldn't have that kind of issue. So yeah, right now I'm focusing on search accuracy and what I could do to improve it later on, as well as soon I hope to conduct interviews with, I would say around 10 people. I think is good just to make it accurate and to get different opinions. And factors to take into account. So like I said, linguistic analysis, how different dialects affect searches. So for example, if you were someone from Texas, you wouldn't search a question up the same way someone from like the northern London would, because you guys don't have the same vocabulary, and it would make it harder to specify what you're looking for. So yeah, niche groups, specific environments and communities, such as like if people from Bali are sharing their experience living there versus people from Bali who are sharing their experience living abroad. And then, yeah, how these topics are usually searched about, how people identify these subjects, and how these platforms organize their searches, all so that I could have a better accuracy to know what I'm doing. That is all. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Alia, I mean, this is pretty much the same question as before during the class, yeah. The
Yeah.
platform is already there, right? Like Reddit, Quora, and everything. But what makes your platforms going to be special, or cater to a certain community? Why we need a new platform? Why don't we use an existing one?
Because like, these platforms have too much data on them for it to be easy to search for specifics. I noticed that this is a very big problem amongst third cultured kids. And if they can't properly search for them on these other platforms, which I have tried doing, it is pretty hard to find what you're looking for. I feel like it would be a safer option so that they could just turn to this smaller niche of a website that only focuses on that topic. I also aim to really focus on the organization of this while I'm making this, because otherwise there would just be too many clashes with search.
So what kind of organization that you're after?
Sorry?
What kind of organization?
As in to say, like, would I work with one, or what kind of?
So are you going to create a new organization for this kind of platform, or is it based on a certain organization?
Oh, I'm planning on making a new one, but my original plan was actually to just work off Reddit, or since Reddit is banned here, it would be easier for me to make a subgenre, a subfolder in Quora. But then I feel like that would also not be as original or as impressive as generally just designing my other one. Because also I feel like since I have studied user interface, I should be able to implement my knowledge into the rest of this project, because otherwise I also feel like it would be kind of cheating.
So you mentioned that there's a community that have the same problem, I suppose, yeah. And it's have you checked how many people in Indonesia that have the same problem? I think it's better for you to look that kind of community, gitu, yeah. So I noticed that we have community for Filipinos, for instance, or Kazakhstans, and they often have a gathering in Indonesia, in Jakarta, and to talk about what's going on, and they're helping each other. I think that's kind of the thing that similar what you've been doing, but offline,
Okay.
So yeah, so I think you need to find a certain community and work from there. Look into what their problem, what they are looking for in Indonesia, or all those things, and then find out how can you solve it as a designer, because at the moment this is very, very broad and unclear on what your objective is. Well,
Okay.
Right, so that's what I was concerned about as well. Like, if you're just making a platform for people to communicate with each other, that's pretty much just making another Facebook. And people are very reluctant to register to a new thing, I think. Make it very local. I would say scale it down to like Indonesia, and you will probably find it easier to get expats who are in Indonesia who wants to get, like, I just Googled just now, and I found like websites like Indonesian expats, where expats in Indonesia could find information about whatever's right. tap into those websites maybe and create something that supports them, or I don't know, find something a bit more local, like you live in Bali, there's a lot of expats or the such in there as well. I think making something like this for the whole world is probably not going to be as simple as if you make it something that's very localized.
Okay, okay.
All right, I think next step will be looking for the platform as well. Yeah, I think you have a lot to catch up, Alia.
Mhm.
All right, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Willard.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, so let's- okay. Good morning, sir. Will answer by you. Today I'm gonna present my thesis progress presentation
Could you
with the
please turn on your
title of the
camera?
oh yeah, sorry, sorry. Wait, where's the button? With the title of The Effect of Teamwork and Communication in Workspaces. So, teamwork and communication is a simple yet vital skill to have, especially in workspaces. Some people are gifted with the ability to communicate, but everyone has a different way to communicate. This is because communication is a skill that is trained and practiced rather than born with. Teamwork is a key element for success in the workplace, similar to a basketball team that works together to create the ideal shot. Each team member contributes with a distinct role in completing tasks effectively. While it might appear that a single player scored the basket, the accomplishment is the result of meticulous planning, coordination, and cooperation from various individuals to deliver the ball to the player. So these are my project objectives for my paper. So first of all, I want to identify the root problem of bad teamwork and communication. And then second of all, find a way to boost teamwork and communication in a workspace to then increase efficiency and the quality of a workspace. So for the root problem of this paper, what this paper aims to solve is the inefficiency and low quality product in workplaces. This problem is often caused by poor teamwork and communication skills between employees to employees or even to the higher up in the work environment. Teamwork and good communication is the result of good relationship with your colleagues or co-workers. There are a lot of solutions available to overcome this poor teamwork and communication skill problem. The solution for this problem can be as simple as rearranging the workspaces, employee bonding, teamwork training, choosing the right team, and good leadership. Some other factors that are proven to affect teamwork and communication skills are team sport, as mentioned before. So this is my scope of study. What I'll be making is a escape room game. So the field I'll be working on is game making and 3D modeling. The target audience being fresh graduates or intern that is going to start working in a company and company HRs. So for the challenges is the majority of interviewees might be busy for most of the time for an interview. So this is my content research. So the first table is a productivity rate. Indonesia's productivity rate per July 2023 is quite low compared to our neighboring country, Malaysia and Singapore, which is above 50%, whereas Indonesia is like around 25. The the graph below shows like Jakarta is the most productive city in Indonesia. So Jakarta will be my main focus for this paper. In Jakarta's dynamic and competitive business environment, the importance of having good teamwork and communication skills cannot be underestimated. As organizations strive for productivity, innovation, and overall success, It is important to understand the impact of these two vital elements. A workplace without good teamwork and communication will encounter a lot of problems, one of them being miscommunication. This can happen whenever and wherever there is communication, which is very common, which is often a common occurrence in the workplace. Without good teamwork and communication, we would encounter a lot of problems. On the other hand, having good teamwork and communication skills between colleagues in workplaces bears a lot of positive effects and is one of the most important factors for a successful organization. Teamwork enables better problem solving, unlocks more potential for innovation, a less stressful work environment, opportunities for growth, boosts productivity, and sparks more creativity. Through sharing personal experiences and expanding the social dynamics of the group, not only does everyone get to know each other better, but it also promotes the development of team building skills. So team building skills involves activities of process that aim to strengthen connections among team members, establish lasting bonds, and enhance teamwork and collaboration. So what I'm planning to do for this thesis project is to make a virtual escape room game. While normal escape room may not be accessible for all team due to maybe a location or scheduling, and virtual escape room will bear similar result as normal ones. And what we do is to solve puzzle as a team. So it's probably something like this, but I searched in Google. They've implemented it outside, but I haven't seen anything implemented in Indonesia. So this is benefits that I've got from a website. It improves team building skill, enhances communication skill, builds time management skill, and increases competence sharing awareness, which is all important for a team building. That's pretty much for my progress here.
All right, thank you. I think that's it's an interesting topic, I guess. Next step would be you need to find a an example of topic or industry, I guess, yeah. So your escape room is catered to that industry, Say if it's a design industry, then all the puzzle or all the escape room is related to those industry, if you're thinking about workplace and hospital, you might it's something that relates to the worker, not just a general team building things. It's been there already.
So make the game more specified to the industry, yes, sir.
Yeah. So look into those. And you also need to look for what kind of team building activities that has been done in Indonesia as well. So you can compare it, or so you can use part of the experience for your project. Yeah.
Okay,
And
sir.
lastly, I guess if we talk about are you going to do it? I mean, if I look at your slide before, there's a 3D modeling thing. Are you going to do virtually? Like how are you going to look at those projects?
For the product, does it have to be like a finished product or just a mock-up, sir, or prototype?
Yeah, but it's going to be virtual and not physical.
Oh yeah,
So
virtual.
right, okay, Phil.
What again? Explain again what you're making.
A team building game, which is like an escape room, so that people can learn teamwork, sir.
From the industry altogether. I'm assuming you're using an existing game engine, or?
Yeah, I think I'll find a template for it, sir, for like the coding and stuff.
Doable.
Yeah, it's doable. Let's see where you go with it. Like right now, it's got potential and it's got it could go either way, right? So continue with this, but I guess suppose be more specific about it. Let's see if you could also have things like customization and such, depending on what kind of work it is and so on and so forth. And find out a bit more about whether or not people are accepting or open to playing games. For instance, you try to offer this to us, for the lectures here. Maybe like 4 of us would do it, and the others like, don't have to play game. You know what I mean? So try to find out more about whether
what's work and what's not.
because like there is some resistance from people from playing games, I think, right? Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Be more specific, I guess. Thank you, Willard.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Right.
Bye, sir.
Are you the last one?
Yeah. Bye, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, see you tomorrow or next week, I guess, Willard.
Okay, sir.
All right, bye.